Once upon a time, there lived a little old woman and a little old man.
I'm Stockbridge, Youth Services Coordinator for the Paul Smith Library, and every summer I do a puppet program for our summer readers. I worked at a library in Massachusetts for a few years, way back in the day, and they had a wonderful puppet program. And I saw how much the children enjoyed it, and I really wanted to bring it here when I started working here. It all started with the Gingerbread Boy, and then we added every year a couple new ones so that we have, I think we've got about 7 or 8 shows now. For the most part, they are just classic fairy tales that I've kind of put a little spin on. All of the puppet shows have a happy ending. No one, gets eaten or boiled or anything like that, because fairy tales can be pretty grim. We started off behind a book cart with minimal props, some puppets that I just found in a closet, made a couple of them myself, and then because the children loved it so much, the library decided to invest in the materials to have a more professional puppet stage built by my husband.
B for the eyes and nose. There, all done. In the oven you go.
I always knew that I wanted it to be pre-recorded so that it would be easy for anybody to step into my shoes. So what we did was we recorded all of the audio basically in my walk-in closet because it was nice and quiet, and I made the scripts, and each person that helped me out would go in and record their lines one by one. Then my husband used a computer program, and he mixed them all together and put them in their proper place and added music and sound effects if needed. So it started with me using my daughter and my husband and myself, and then the neighborhood kids kind of heard about it as the years went on, and so I've got a couple guest stars, neighbors and friends and things like that. So each puppet show has its own unique character for that reason. Every summer on Thursdays, to part of our summer reading club, we do Puppet Theater Thursdays, and I do a different puppet show every Thursday morning at 10:30. And then during the school year, I will periodically do just special, events. Christmas time, we tend to do the Gingerbread Boy. I love it because it's sort of holiday-ish without being religious. And so I've always just loved the idea of the Gingerbread Boy. Gingerbread reminds me of the Christmas time season, but again, it's not any religious affiliation, and I love it. We do New Freedom Fest in September, and I do, I think, 3 or 4 puppet shows at that event. That was Mr. Stew that took a trip with me. During the school year, during my regular story times, we have a little bookworm puppet who comes out of a strawberry or an apple. It's up for debate. The children often tell me either one. But he starts our story time. The children sing a little song to him. He comes out of his little apple strawberry, and he kind of sets the tone for story time. They know it's time to sit, it's time to listen to a story. I use him as an example of being a good listener, and the children just kind of follow his lead. They love him so much. He has different outfits that he wears throughout the year, and I thought it would be fun if he went on vacation with me, sort of like Flat Stanley. And so I took pictures of him in London and Paris at different attractions to kind of show the kids what he's up to on his vacation. And we posted them to our Facebook page, and we had so many comments and likes and discussions here in the library while I was gone about where I was and what Mr. Stew was doing. And it was just a really fun way for the kids to kind of connect with me even though I was on vacation.
There by the river was a sly old fox.
I'm the gingerbread boy, and I've run away from a little old woman and a little old man, and a speedy mouse, and a hen and a dog, and a fast horse, and I can run away from you. I can.
A couple years ago, we did a junior puppeteer camp, and I kind of let them go. And I said, just pick a book or a story that you know, and it has to be something you really, really love, and that maybe you can kind of rework it and add a little fun to it. And then the puppets can either be made or purchased, depending on what your budget is. I've made some, and I've purchased some. I've seen them at Goodwill. I've seen them, eBay, all that. And so I kind of just, from that, kind of work around what I can fit into a puppet show.